The question of the day is, should an anxious attachment style and an avoidant attachment style have a romantic relationship? Should they attempt it? Should they get together? My answer to that is I think it will make an extremely toxic relationship. Yeah, I said it. And yeah, I'm going to try to retract that statement by the end of this video because I think all relationships are salvageable, at least from the perspective of a counselor or a therapist. I think most relationships, there are a few that, but I think most relationships are salvageable, workable. You have two human beings who are both learning how to be in a relationship together, how to grow together, how to make things work. You're both two separate entities trying to make one entity. You're trying to thrive together. But off the rip, I would say if you're anxious, you need to run from an avoidant. And if you're an avoidant, you need to run from an anxious. I think this relationship is a problem up front because they're opposites. They're opposites in what they want. And yet, is this a common pairing? Probably extremely common. And I would venture to say that you're going to get way more women who are anxious, and you're going to get way more men who are avoidant. And so it's so easy to get these two together if they're not a secure attachment style. And they're going to try to navigate and enjoy each other while wanting two different things. It's kind of like if you love chocolate so much, you think it's so delicious, but you hate strawberry flavored desserts or candies. But then the other person absolutely loves strawberry candy and they detest chocolate. There are people who detest chocolate. But you told each other that no, you have to enjoy this chocolate and you have to enjoy this strawberry. That would be really upsetting to both people because neither one of them likes the opposite flavor. So it's like you got two different flavors and they're trying to navigate together, but they want different things and they're driven absolutely bonkers by the opposite of that. But like I said, I believe there's hope, and I'm going to try to get there. Hang in there with me because I'm sure that the people who are watching this video probably have this combo working right now. And like I said, it is a common pairing, it is a common relationship pairing. And so we can't run from it. We've got to figure it out. We got to figure out how to make it work. If you have two anxious people together, it's going to be marked by preoccupation with relationships. Individuals with this style may be overly sensitive to their partner's signals and often seek closeness, leading to clinginess or dependency. So both of them are going to want closeness. So they can sit on the couch together all the time. They can hold hands all the time. They can do things together constantly, and it won't bother them. Like they'll enjoy that. But avoidant individuals tend to value independence and often avoid closeness or emotional connection, leading to distance in relationships. So if you have two people who are avoidant, one will be in the living room and one will be in their bedroom, and they'll both be watching TV separately, and they'll be happy to do that. And they can do a few things here and there together, but they respect each other's need for distance and space and time apart. And they enjoy being in a relationship together, but they need their space. These can also be extreme thought processes because I have a feeling that some people who are anxious and some people who are avoidant are kind of somewhere in the middle where they enjoy a little bit of both, but then they cling to their preference in time of frustration or when they're overwhelmed. They could be overwhelmed by a consistent giving of what the other one wants. So too much space will drive the anxious person nuts. Too much closeness will drive the avoidant person nuts. Think about your love language. Think about the 5 love languages. Which one do you absolutely love? I don't mind giving people gifts. Like, I'll take that chance. I will take on the challenge. I will have fun shopping for them. But I have had people to tell me, we don't exchange gifts in this office, and please don't start because I can't take it. So imagine somebody saying, but that's what I like though. But I like it when you give me gifts. That makes me feel good. Please. I don't feel like you care about me if you don't give me gifts. How would you feel if you absolutely detest gifts? Same thing for somebody who is not quality time and you want to do things with them all the time. And let's say this is not a romantic partner. This is just a friend or a colleague. And the colleague is like, let's eat lunch together every single day. Let's go places every weekend. Because I like quality time, which means I like spending time together and it makes me feel cared about and loved. And you're like, I just want to do my own thing. Like, I want to work during lunch. I need to make some phone calls. I need to pay some bills. I am not quality time. It is not making me feel like you care about me. It's making me want to get away from you. So it's the same thing with attachment styles. It's like, if you decide that I'm going to be in a romantic relationship with an avoidant, and I am anxious and I know I want to sit under you all day long because it makes me feel secure. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy. It feels amazing. I feel loved. I feel cared about. And that person, that style is going to drive them nuts. They're going to be allergic to it. The closer you are to them all the time, it just makes them feel irritated, aggravated, like they want to get away from you. Give me some space. I need a moment to think. I need a moment to decompress and watch TV and do whatever I want to do. And you're sitting right underneath me. That's going to be a problem. You are asking for a problem. You are asking for a problem on a silver platter, and yet love doesn't work that way. Love is so much deeper than that. Love, we draw in things that we don't want. It just happens, right? So what do we do about it when we know we're going to attract that type of energy? I would say the good news is I think most people come into the relationship knowing, or at least from a mature standpoint, that you're going to have to give some things that you don't want to give. And you're going to have to participate in some things that you don't want to participate because you have chosen to navigate together with this person. And so sometimes you have to put some of your own needs aside. I hate washing dishes, but you just cooked, so I'm going to wash the dishes. So I think you will have to come to a compromise. What's interesting to me is that I recently talked to a friend who said that they were avoidant, and I was thinking, you seem so securely attached to me. But I can remember doing a couple of meetups where she kind of ghosted everybody like a couple of times. And apparently she was having a strong reaction to something. Like, she was going through some stuff, feeling overwhelmed, but it's like, okay, we said we were meeting. Where are you? She's not here. And then later it's an excuse or a reason. So their pullback game is real. Like, sometimes they just need some space. They're feeling overwhelmed. They're grappling with things. They could feel insecure about some things. And they just need space, or they just can't make themselves connect with you because they are dealing with their own insecurities or their own problems. And so they can just pull away and you're like, okay, wow. Like they just feel unable to push through. But they can push through sometimes. And there are times when they do want to be together and they feel a sense of normalcy. So I would say the good news is it may not be all the time, but I think if you are anxiously attached, you are going to, and it's so unfair because you feel like, well, they need a compromise too. Both people need to compromise. But I think if you are anxiously attached, you need to understand that getting really close all the time to somebody who's avoidant will feel like ants in their pants to them. Like they just need to get the ants off. Like they feel like irritated, overwhelmed. They need space to decompress, and it's not personal. But I think when they feel overwhelmed, they can get rude, they can get cold, they can become insistent on getting their way, like get away from me, or I'm going to get away from you. I think they could be really rude with it. And I think it could be extremely hurtful for somebody who is anxiously attached because it feels like extreme rejection, but it also feels offensive to the avoidant when you never want to give them any space to rejuvenate and come back. So I think there has to be a level of the quote unquote word radical acceptance. Have you heard that phrase? It's kind of a catchphrase right now. So, yeah, you would have to do some radical acceptance that you're not going to get all of what you want from this person. You're going to be longing for more. And there will be plenty of times when you're going to be longing for more. So you're going to have to learn how to fill yourself up to a certain degree, whether it's shopping, baking, cleaning, cooking, hanging with friends. And I know that nothing compares to being with your special person, hobbies, all of that. It doesn't compare. But if you don't learn how to do some things on your own and find some enjoyment in that, then you're going to run the avoidant off because they can't handle that level of we're always together all the time with no space. They cannot handle that. So you have to be willing to accept that you're not going to have that person that you're going to be able to just be under all the time. And then if you are an avoidant, let's be fair. You cannot just only have your own space 100% of the time. If that is the case, why are you in a relationship? It doesn't make sense. You're going to have to spend some quality time with that person, and you really need to spend as much as you possibly can because you are in the relationship. Nobody wants to be played with. If you know this is an issue for you, because they can kind of come on strong at first and then you never see that person again. Like even when they're in the relationship with you, that is not fair to the other person. So you are going to have to get used to being with somebody and around them more than what you would like. You're going to have to try on those shoes and keep them on and break them in for a great majority of the time. And it's going to be when you don't want it. So the two of you are going to have to figure out, I would say, some type of schedule, like every Thursday we go out to dinner together. Every day we spend an hour together talking, but we spend an hour doing our own thing. There would have to be some absolute compromises and maybe some agreements on when you spend time together and when you don't spend time together. Let's just be honest. You're entering into a situation for which you are asking somebody to give you something that they are incredibly uncomfortable with. You're also going to be making concerted efforts to change the other person. So if you're avoidant, you're going to be constantly pushing the anxious person away and hoping that they get the hint. And when are they going to stop? Get away from me. Like, this is overwhelming. This is too much. And if you are anxious, you're going to be like, look, I need to spend time with you. I need to be with you. I want us to be together all the time or most of the time. And it's extremely hurtful. So it's like the anxious person is going to feel extremely hurt, and the avoidant person is going to feel extremely aggravated, disrespected, overwhelmed. So you're going to be trying to force the other person to be like you. That's a problem. How easy is it to change someone? So if you're anxious, then why don't you try on the avoidant attachment style for a while? Like, why don't you try getting away from the person, giving them space, doing your own thing all the time, not asking for anything, not being around that person? Try that on and see how you like it. Do you like that? You probably hate that. It doesn't feel natural, normal, nor comfortable. And it's the same thing, vice versa. Like, an avoidant person sitting with you and let's be together and we can never be apart. That's difficult. So you're asking each other to do something very difficult. The problem is that both extremes do not represent a what? A secure attachment style. And that's what we're all aiming for. Is we're aiming for secure attachment style, which means that you have a balance, that you are balancing both, that you are finding a happy medium, that you are learning to invite closeness into your life because it could be a blessing, it could help you, it could be healing. And if you are always clingy, and the core of anxious attachment style is you're going to have some abandonment fears. Not like borderline personality disorder, but you're going to feel it. It's going to crank way up in the romance department, and you're going to feel it, and it's going to scare you. So you have to learn how to help yourself, help that piece of you to subside, that you are safe, that you are okay, that just because this person isn't around you constantly doesn't mean that they're getting ready to dump you or get rid of you. It doesn't mean that. You have to work on calming that fear down. And an avoidant person has to work on allowing closeness and not pushing everyone away like you're a threat. This person is a threat. What do they want? What are they going to do to me? I can't handle it. Get away from me. Why are you coming near me? I'm protecting myself because I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to get crushed. I don't want to be rejected. So I'm pushing you away before you can get too close. I'm making myself safe, but are you really enjoying the relationship? When you put these two in a romantic relationships, you are both scaring the heck out of each other. You are terrifying each other all the time. Because when you bring clingy energy, neediness, I'm calling you 15, 20 times a day, I'm ringing your doorbell, I need to sit on the couch by you constantly, you are scaring that avoidant. You are making them feel very nervous. Very nervous. You're freaking them out. It is literally scary to them. And with the avoidant person, though, when your anxious person, like they're going crazy because you're not quieting them by coming towards them with something that they want. So when you are running from them all the time, you're not answering their phone calls, they can't sit by you on the couch, you never come visit them, you are scaring them. They are afraid that you are about to leave them, that you don't want to be in a relationship with them. And because they have some abandonment fears, they can't handle that. They are afraid that you are going to detach. And so what do people do when they are feeling scared? They do the opposite of what you want. And they're trying to get you to do what it is that they need you to do so that they can quiet their anxiety. Right? So really the solution is to do the opposite of what you feel so that you can quiet some of the energy that you say you don't want. So the avoidant has or needs to give the anxious person some of what they want. Like it could be, you know what, we're going to talk on the phone every day for a few minutes. I'm going to text you something every day. I'm going to sit next to you on the couch for a while. I'm going to give you some of what you want, because what they do is I'm not going to give you any of what you want, and then I'm going to wonder why you're acting crazy. And it's the same thing for the anxious person. Give them some of what they want. So instead of calling them 5 times a day, maybe call them once a day. Instead of texting them 10 times a day, maybe text them a couple of times a day. Maybe instead of sitting on the couch next to them for hours, you get up and go do some other things. Go clean up. Go do something fun. Go play a game. Give them some of what they want in order to get more of what you want. So you have to pour into each other. I have learned that from working also with little children who really have extreme, like I think they are more like borderline personality disorders, developing it, even though you can't diagnose it. That is something that can't be changed, that can't be healed. It's difficult to heal it. Let's put it that way. Anxious and avoidant attachment style, you are blessed because you actually can heal it to a great degree so that you can enjoy having both sides of the coin in your relationship. That's the blessing part of it. But you're going to have to give more of what you're comfortable with so that the other person's fears can subside and they can get used to giving you what you want and get more comfortable with it. I think we can all get more comfortable with doing some things that it's not like telling somebody to go rob a bank. So we have to help each other by giving each other some of what we want. Now, who is going to feel the most afraid of talking about what it is that they want? I think the anxious person is going to be most terrified because the avoidant is holding something over their head. I can walk out this door any minute. So they could find themselves acting out instead of just saying, hey, I need to address something with you. I have this, now we have the language because we can talk attachment styles. Have you ever studied attachment styles? I'm learning that I'm more anxious. And so I feel afraid when you pull away. It scares me and I'm working on it. But let's have a conversation about how we can meet somewhere in the middle. It's probably a scary conversation for an anxious person, but if you don't have a conversation, you're going to be acting out all the time and the other person isn't going to understand what the heck is going on, and you're going to be overwhelming instead of balanced. Let's say you're an avoidant man and you want to get a little something from that anxious attached female. She's going to feel used and lightweight abused. I'm not saying like totally abused, because if she agrees to do those things, then you're an adult, you're in an agreement. But if she's giving you what you really want and then you don't want anything to do with her, get away from me for a day or two or three, and this is a consistent get away from me pattern until I want a little something, you're using her. And so when you get a crazy acting person, stage 5 clinger, then you should not be shocked by that. You're getting something that you want, so you got to give something that maybe you're not as comfortable, but we're in a relationship, and a relationship is not one person, it is two people. So it's important that both people are getting their needs met. Doesn't mean that you're going to get 100% of your needs met in this situation, but you need to get a great deal of it met. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So let me know what you think in the comments. This was a viewer requested video. If you have any other requests, let me know. I might just be curious enough to do it. Send this video to somebody who is struggling with it, or somebody that you are dating and you're having a difficult time explaining to them what the issue is or what the problem is. Send them this video and let them listen to it, because personally, it would be difficult for me to straightforwardly say to somebody, hey, can we talk? Like, I'm noticing that, that could be a challenge. So it could take some of the frustration off of you to just send them a video and say, hey, check this out, and can we talk about it? So, hey, beautiful people, thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments and what topics you want me to explore next. Your feedback means so much to me. Let's keep this adventure going. Don't break up with me. Be sure to subscribe and like the video. Check out my books on Amazon for insights on enhancing your love life, navigating narcissistic personalities, and exploring the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types. Links are in the description. You're amazing, and I can't wait to see you on the next video.